What's up everyone, it's your boy the Graceful Rogue here, stepping out of the shadows to give you content on Naruto x Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections, and this is part 2 of a series I've been calling Who Are the Five? A series that is based on speculation of the 5 characters that will most likely be in the Season Pass with Storm Connections. Each video will be us discussing one of the 5 that will most likely be added in, as well as coming up with a moveset for said characters, and even giving a reasoning for why I think that character will be in the game. Check out the first video if you haven't seen it yet, and now that you understand what these videos are about, let's get into it.
口寄せの術。すげえ。さすがサルトビKonohamaru.
Quick shout out to these viewers, Axel X Flames, Video, and Starkiller for being right on one of the characters I was going to put in the series. Y'all said Konohamaru on your list. For the rest of you that left your comments in the last video, if you weren't said in this video, that doesn't mean you didn't say a character I was thinking of, who you said is probably in a future video. I will mention you guys then if you did mention that said character, so subscribe and get those notifications on so you can either see when you're right, or track me down with pitchforks if I don't mention who you wanted. But without further ado, let's get into it. So for our second character, we have Konohamaru Sarutobi. Truthfully, he's one of those characters who should be in the base roster, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Now, based on how I've seen people talk about Konohamaru over the years during the Boruto series, some of you might not want Konohamaru and think he would be a wasted slot. Others might feel the opposite and would love to have him in the game. Now, me personally, I was in the group expecting him to be a badass sensei like Kakashi, but just during the Boruto era. But I eventually got over it. Clearly, that wasn't what his intended role was. Now, to be fair, Kakashi grew up in times of war and was battle-hardened growing up, while Konohamaru is in times of peace, but I digress on that. Let me know if you guys are of the opinion that Konohamaru doesn't have a valid excuse and should have been built different, or if you're in the camp that he really is just mid and you're okay with it. Oh, also, is it kind of our fault for hyping him up just because he defeated one of the Passive Pain? Alright, enough about how we feel about him these days. If I keep talking about Konohamaru's performance in the series, this video will probably never end. Let's talk about what his moveset might look like. Alright, for Konohamaru's fighting style, we know he mainly fights using the chakra blades Asuma used during combat. We know he has Rasengan, fire style techniques, he has Shadow Shuriken, Burning Ash, and Toad Summoning. He also has his own summoning monkey that he has a contract with, Enra, and he's actually got some interesting sealing jutsu as well. So given what we know Konohamaru can do, let's see how we can figure all these jutsus into some sort of kit for him. For his standard combo, he should start with piecing you up like when you fought Jugo, let him get some slashes off, and then as he gets further into the combo, let Konohamaru pull off that kick that hurls the blade into the opponent for a crumple state. These hits will be his combo starter, so anything after the blade being hurled into the opponent will be the rest of whatever combo he's doing. And you guys know how Storm is. After those first few initial hits, if you're doing up, down, or standard combo, the combo's properties, or rather the rest of the moves that come out are different, but that up until that point where he kicks the blade into the opponent, that'll be his combo starter. That's what we're going to establish for the rest of this video. But if you continue his standard combo, he will hit the opponent with a Rasengan that will push the opponent back a bit and put them in like a blowback stagger state, which then he will use Burning Ash and then hit the Ash with a Fire Style Dragon Flame Bomb for the ender, knocking the opponent away. Down combo. Go into his combo starter, so after the blade is kicking to the opponent, putting them in that crumple state, the down combo actually starts from there. Konohamaru will use Shadow Shuriken on the opponent, taking them out of the crumple state and putting them in that kind of, once again, blown back stagger state, and then he will jump up and use Fire Style Flaming Meteors, which will hit consecutive times before coming down for Rasengan, and then following up with a Summoning Toad for the knockdown, ending the combo. For his up combo, after his combo starter, you know, again, the point where he knocks the blade into the opponent, putting him in the crumple state, Konohamaru summons Enra, who turns into a staff, and then Konohamaru starts hitting the opponent with the staff, similar to how the third Hokage would do his combos, and then finish the combination of hits into a launcher. Now for his air combo, Konohamaru summons the staff again, goes into a few jabs of it, and then spins the staff like a helicopter, hitting the opponent multiple times before ending the combo with a Rasengan to hit the opponent into the ground. And of course you can follow up with a Chakra Dash and pick him back up because it's connections, but still, I think that would be pretty dope. And here's an idea for Konohamaru's grab. Now, his grab and his second jutsu both do the same thing. It's really just, I don't like having a character repeat things, but considering how I want his grab to kind of work, or see it working with his kind of kit, it makes sense that the second jutsu does the same thing, just so there's more ways to land it and have it be an active thing throughout the match, not just have it be a one-time thing. It should be something that when you fight a Konohamaru, you actually have to worry about this. So, and if you play competitively, you might hate this. Konohamaru summons 2 clones and a triangle appears for his grab, okay? That's a startup. The Sealing Jutsu Triangle Seal is the name of the move. Grabs are pretty punishing in Storm Connections so far from what I've been seeing, so adding this aspect to a grab will add to the effectiveness grabs already have in this game. And you can't say this is doing too much because in Storm 4 we already have a character that when they grab they get rewarded pretty well for it anyway, so I think this is kind of along the same lines, maybe a little bit worse. But when Konohamaru grabs you with the Sealing Jutsu Triangle Seal, your items will temporarily be sealed after he grabs you. Not for a long time, but maybe like 5 seconds you can't use your items. Which, maybe it might be a little bit too much. I don't think it's too much. Is it too much? Nah, it's fine. So yeah, that'll be his grab. Grabbing you and cutting you off from using your items for a brief amount of time. Now for his jutsu, I don't want him to have Rasengan. We already have more than enough characters who use Rasengan as a jutsu. Even though each one is different in some way, I would rather see more variety. If he does have Rasengan as a jutsu, just make it a selectable option for him to use, and not something that's automatically in his default kit. You guys might not like me for this. I don't know if I'm just trying to make Konohamaru like a top tier just to get you to buy him if I was like working for CC2, but here's my idea for his moveset, alright? His first jutsu. We already have Naruto's Insane Clone Jutsu in Connections. If you've seen it, that jutsu is wild. It's going to be annoying to deal with online, especially if you give it into a skilled player's hands. That jutsu is going to get on my nerves. I already know it. But I thought, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea if we give Konohamaru something similar? So instead of clones, he uses fire-style flaming meteors, and Konohamaru would obviously just keep shooting the fireballs at you. They don't have like insane knockback or anything. They just stagger you, kind of like the Naruto clones, and just keep you in place. This will make Konohamaru a more sought-after character just for his assists as well, which, I mean, kind of even more incentive to buy him. God, am I working for Season 2 at this point? Anyway, now let me know if you hate this idea for Konohamaru's second jutsu, especially since I just suggested his first jutsu be similar to Naruto's clone jutsu, which if you've seen that again, you know how strong that jutsu is. So for me to say this for his second jutsu, clearly something's wrong with me. But, Sealing Jutsu Triangle Seal, this will be like a bomb version. It's the same jutsu we used for his grab, except this time the paper bombs will go off inside the triangle. This jutsu will trap the enemy similar to the Tsuchikage's jutsu in Storm 4, and upon detonation will temporarily block an enemy from using their items. That option might entice people to buy Konohamaru, honestly, but given that how strong his first jutsu is, his second jutsu, and then I give his grab, I'm honestly at this point making a top tier. For his ultimate, we're going to use the technique Combined Sealing Monkey Sun Suppression Jutsu. This was pretty simple to think of. He should just rush you with a Chakra Blade infused slash, then go into a combination of slashes as he's doing this, and runs on his shoulders, throwing down seal tags while Konohamaru is slashing you up. Then Konohamaru uses Enra in his staff form to activate the technique. The opponent will be surrounded by sealing tags, and then be picked up by the hand from the technique. Once the spiritual hand crushes the opponent, that ends the ultimate. Alright, let's get into Awakening. Konohamaru summons Enra on his shoulder and prepares to fight. He even infuses chakra into his chakra blades. His combos stay the same, except now his blades are infused with chakra, so anytime the blades are used in his combos, they're more emphasized. And I also thought it would make sense to just give him 2 Awakening actions. Action 1, he hurls the staff at an opponent, and upon landing a successful hit, Enra, being the staff, will start spinning, hitting the opponent multiple times before doing a final strike that will knock the opponent into a rolling state. So you could just easily chakra dash and pick him back up to continue. Now, that kind of idea I got for this was Naruto's Demon Wind Bomb, or even Awakening Mode Awakening Mode Boruto's Action 1, where he just flings the Demon Wind and then transforms. Kind of be the similar thing of Enra, except Enra will just stay as the staff. And then for his second action, I thought it would make sense if Konohamaru releases a cloud of burning ash that upon second input will explode. So you can kind of leave it there. It's kind of like a trap, and then if you're moving your opponent into it, you can just activate it. That one's kind of it might be useful, might not, just depends on the player. But those are kind of my options for his Awakening, and that's what I got. Anyway guys, this wraps up Character 2 Konohamaru, another character that I think is going to be in the Season Pass. If you're a new viewer or a returning viewer and you didn't comment your list of what characters you think will be in the Season Pass, or if I already mentioned who you wanted in the Season Pass, let me know. I have been hearing talks also of there's going to be potentially multiple rounds of DLC for this game, which honestly wouldn't surprise me. My videos right now are mainly going to be focused on the current Season Pass, but don't get me wrong, I do plan to speculate on other characters in the future. And also, when are we going? If we're gonna get multiple characters, this has to be the game where we get Anko. Like, can we please get her in? We've been waiting since what, Storm 2 to try to get her in the game. Just put her in. She should have. Generations should have been her game. I stand by that. Generations. She should have been in the game. If there was ever a game to put her in, it was Generations. Just put her in at some point. Anyway, I digress on the whole Anko situation. If I don't stop talking about it now, this video will never end. You guys let me know what you think of my ideas for Konohamaru. Do you think I was overdoing it with this second jutsu and grab? Maybe I'm trying to break the game, maybe I'm not. Maybe you have a better idea. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to go back to the shadows. I appreciate you guys watching the content, and peace.